You're watching Iowa Live. Everything local, entertaining, and meaningful in Central Iowa is right here on Iowa Live.
From the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, welcome to Iowa Live. I am Lou, beginning of May, and look at what has arrived in the mailbox. The latest edition of the Iowa History Journal, publisher Michael Swanger. Good to see you, sir.
Good morning, Lou.
All right, we are excited about the new edition. Tell everybody a little bit about Iowa History Journal, first and foremost.
You bet. Well, we're in our 17th year now. We're the only statewide popular publication devoted exclusively to Iowa history. We're a small family-owned business based here in West Des Moines.
How about that? And speaking of history, 17 years here, but you have an anniversary that we got to make sure before we go any further.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't plug the office manager, Mrs. Swanger, Rebecca Swanger. It's our anniversary today, so thanks to her for everything she does to help keep our business running. She has a career of her own, but she helps me on nights and weekends, and I couldn't do it without her.
That is awesome.
Thank you, honey.
All right, and how many years?
27.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
And congratulations to you for you know what. Okay, anyway. But the magazine, amazing, because we are talking about anniversaries, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We're hitting on 3 milestone anniversaries in this issue, Lou. We're talking about the anniversaries of the conclusion of the Civil War, the Vietnam War, and World War II. So we're hitting on 3 major milestones in this issue alone. And of course, we're starting off with the cover story about Robert Ray and the humanitarian effort that he is renowned for welcoming Southeast Asian refugees to Iowa after the end of the Vietnam War.
Yeah, how game-changing was that for so many lives?
Big, and obviously anyone who grew up in the state at that time remembers when it happened too. I still remember it even as a kid. And we just marked the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon on Wednesday and the end of the Vietnam War. And the effort that he made, and in particular, there's Matthew Walsh, who wrote a book about the governor's work to do this a couple of years ago. I asked him to pen this story, and he delves into all the work that took place behind the scenes for it to happen, including Governor Ray meeting with President Ford to be sure that they could bring a little more than 3,000 Tidon refugees to Iowa without breaking up that community and spreading them out to other states.
Really?
He knew that it was important to keep the community together and to bring them to Des Moines. And we have a large community of Tidon citizens here in Iowa, and particularly in Des Moines because of it. So he was in Thailand. He visited a couple weeks after the war. He visited some refugee camps, and he saw what was taking place over there, and it was personal to him, and he knew the importance of helping welcome them to Iowa, and Iowa was the leader in the U.S. of helping do that.
What a great story.
Yeah, it really is, and it's obviously arguably his biggest legacy as governor. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Just a great man there for doing that. What else do we have inside of the latest edition?
You bet. Well, we have a story about, we're continuing our Civil War letters series from Timothy Walsh. So it's part 2 of that series, which really brings home the front lines in the forms of letters. And so that's the second part of our series that we launched with our March-April issue. And so that's a piece that you're definitely going to read if you read the last issue. And then, of course, we're touching on the anniversary of the end of World War II. May 8th will be VE Day, and I focus my column on a World War II war correspondent from Des Moines, Frank Miles, who brought the war home again through his journalism and would cover all the Iowans on in the European theater.
Right.
So that's another interesting piece. And then we also are touching on the 1883 Seacrest Octagonal Barn, which is in West Branch. Yeah, an 8-sided barn. It's going to be on the upcoming Iowa Barn Foundation tour next month. And then we have another story.
Yeah, there's a picture of the barn. That is just incredibly cool. Yeah,
it is. It's very unique. 8-sided barn, right? It's beautiful. We have lots of great pictures in there as well. And then we also have a story written by Don Doxey about Major League pitcher George Pipgrass. Baseball season. How could I pass up a story about baseball? But what's great about George is he was born in Ida Grove. He pitched for the legendary 1927 New York Yankees. Arguably the greatest team to ever play in MLB, and he won 3 World Series titles. He had just a tremendous career. So we like to touch on all kinds of subjects in every issue. Yeah,
now,
we have quite a mix.
If you need to get this delivered to your mailbox, which is the easiest way to do so, and you can get a subscription for this, you can buy it in the stores too, though, right?
That's right. Barnes & Noble, Hy-Vee,
right?
Yeah, Books A Million, etc.
Right.
We have a list on our website.
But if we want to get this in our mailboxes, what's the easiest place they can check out?
Just visit iowahistoryjournal.com and you can order today.
Okay, and also follow them on Facebook, additional stories on Facebook and other social media sites as well. Great job. It is the May-June edition of the Iowa History Journal. Michael Swanger, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Lou.
And happy anniversary.
Thank you, sir.
Once again, and happy anniversary to Mrs. Swanger.